Thank you for coming back to the Tony Montana channel. On this occasion, we are going to talk about females in heat in an environment where males and females live together inside a household. Oh boy, that is a freaking time in their lives that is a pain in the butt for the humans. Not necessarily because of them being in heat per se, but what happens in that process? What happens with the females? What happens with the males? And what you got to do with as a human being, not trying to make puppies. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about there are phases in the female cycle when a female starts to swell up and uh, bleed. It isn't necessarily that moment when the dog is going to be ready or willing to mate. In fact, that's the time then that it's attracting males, but the female is not ready. So the female will not allow to be bred at that moment. So what I do in those situations is basically allow the female to correct the male, saying, "Yes, I am in heat, but don't bother me. I'm not ready." So the female will normally be more aggressive towards the male. The male will be less aggressive towards the female because of the hormonal or all that excitement he's feeling. That's basically innate as an animal. So I let them be around each other. The only pain would be the dripping of blood that I have to clean over and over again. Make sure that it's clean with Clorox and thoroughly. It isn't like a human female that has to put pads on. It's for at least for here. It's more of a drop here, drop there type of a menstruation. And I believe that the female self cleans herself regularly, so that there's very little to clean up. However, the males, when the female is getting to that point of being ready, males may start to, I guess, themselves. They'll allow drips, at least for me here. They know they're not supposed to pee in the house or around the house. So what they do, I don't know if they would do this in outside, but they know they can't pee here. So what happens is uh, drops of urine. The spots of drops of urine around more or less where the female is or was. There'll be, I guess, drops of urine, which again I have to clean up because obviously it's not what I want in the house. It's not very clean. So what I do is when I start seeing that the female starts moving her tail sideways, that's the time you need to pull that female away from the dogs because that's the time she's ready. And if you don't want to have puppies, you need to pull her away, pull her like either another room and keep her there. Um, create and rotate, create the female with, and then the males. That way, there's no chance of uh, breeding. That that phase of her being ready, I found it to be maybe like 4 or 5 days at the most. Once they're ready, once they're putting the tail to the side and flagging, I think it's like 4 or 5 days, more or less. The whole cycle might be 2 weeks, from the beginning to dripping to the finish. And it is a pain in the butt because the males are again going towards that crate, trying to let her smell his urine, and they get more of. If you have more than one male, you might again be more careful because this may be a chance of the dog wanting to breathe so much that they might take their energy on uh, on the male that's next to them, either to fight or to mount that particular dog. And obviously, if that other particular dog is a also a dominant or also not a submissive dog, there is going to be some sort of struggle. And that how high of a struggle that may be depends on your type of dogs and the rate how much you raise them, but mostly genetics. All right, some family of dogs feel better than others, though some others are just crazy, and they will just go snap. But those particular crazy dogs, you would know from beforehand that you're not supposed to have those two males together or those males together. But I don't know how you guys deal with. I don't know if you guys have multi. It doesn't have to be American People Terriers. It also relates to any dog and male and female, but it is more particular with ours because obviously these dogs are more alpha mentality, and they are willing to fight longer and harder than regular dogs. Regular dogs will probably just snap and maybe bite the scruff or some gesture and then be done with it. That's not the case with the American People Terrier. So, in my case, as I said, I'll allow them to still be around each other until the female begins to flag, the female begins to put her tail sideways. That's when I create and rotate. And I do not allow the males to get close to each other because this is the time that you're going to have puppies if you do that. Okay, so it's not a long and not a complicated topic. It's just something that I wanted to share with you guys in regards to having multiple dogs living inside and the female being in heat. And obviously, if you have more than one female indoors, you are going to have your females in heat almost about the same time because one induces the other to go in heat. And that is a trick if you're like, oh man, my female is never going into heat, and I want to breed my female. Well, take her close to the chain spot if you have a chain spot, or move the chain spot to a female. Like if there's a female in your yard that's already in heat, and then move the female you want in heat to her the chain spot or crate or kick closer. It doesn't even have to be the same chain spot next to next chain spot, and they will induce each other into heat. So the female in heat will induce the female that's not in heat to go into heat. All right. Like for me, I don't plan on breeding, so I am just enjoying my dogs and dealing with the situations that come my way as they come. All right. I appreciate you guys enjoying my video channels, and I guess we'll talk another time. This is Tony Montana. Until next.